Hello, everyone. This is Rohan Matthews from QuantInsti. So this is a dedicated session for the APAC region. So let's start with why we are doing this session. As you all know, this is a session which is done by the EPATians for people who are interested in the EPAT program. And the idea is to understand and learn from successful journeys in the EPAT program, how they have been able to cross hurdles, cross bottlenecks, and been able to learn and upskill in the domain of quantitative and algorithmic trading, and eventually also either are applying or would apply in their current lives. Now, we are doing this session in a very specific manner. This is a region specific webinar. It is currently done only for the Asia Pacific zone. And currently, all the alumni that we have are from these countries itself, especially Singapore and Hong Kong. The idea or the flow of this event is more of having certain FAQs or certain questions which come from the potential or interested learners in this domain to people who have already gotten certified or are already utilizing the learning in the web in their own careers. So this is the a mixed bag where we have got a software development gentleman, a person who is a financial, a learned financial person. We have got someone who's moved from chemical engineering and oil and gas and applying these learnings into the energy industry. And then a gentleman for his own trading through his and being in the cybersecurity industry. So let's start with Gabriel. So Gabriel has a rich experience spanning 20 years in the financial industry. Gabriel is a seasoned professional renowned for his contributions to the global organizations like Barclays, JP Morgan, Morgan Chase and Company, HSBC, etc. His core expertise lies around software development in the financial markets, and has, with his spans of experience, he has got a lot of hands-on experience in this domain. What was your motivation to take up the training in the domain, and why algorithmic trading? Now, I believe this is the first question even my team would ask anyone who has inquired for this particular program, because the motivation holds strong.
So yeah, I mean, as you already pointed out, I'm a software developer. Been doing software for over 24 years, with 20 years in the financial services industry, and the last 10 years in algo trading. Around year 2020, I just sat back and asked myself, I've been doing algo trading for 5 years as at that time, but I've never really understood the theory behind most of the things I was doing, like VWAP strategy, TWAP, and the rest of them, momentum strategies. I didn't fully understand them. I've read about them on Google or different websites, and watched a few videos on YouTube. But I felt I needed a stronger theoretical basis, but not too much theory. I wanted something that was theoretical, but as well showing me ways how I can put that into practice. So I searched online to see if there was any course that could give me that, and that's how I came across EPAT, and I enrolled for the, I think, January 2021 session. Yeah.
So I think you all did touch upon certain parts of this, but I think the next question is more towards how was the journey, and I think I would rather ask you all to also share about the bottlenecks that you all might have come through or hurdles, and if they got solved, how they did. So let's go in the same order, maybe. So Gabriel, you want to take this up?
Yeah, I could start. So as I mentioned, I did the January 2021. I was in the January 2021 batch. So finished around June or July. I think we finished around July, and I did the final exam, which was at first I mean, it was a bit scary initially because I'd not done an exam for like donkey years, in August 2021. But yeah, so Interesting thing was when I started EPAT, I actually just started a new job in February 2021. So it was pretty difficult, I would say, difficult time for me, being able to balance between, the program, the EPAT program, as well as, giving my best in the new job. But I managed it quite well. If looking back, I think I did. I'm extremely tired after a long week of working, trying to impress my new bosses, and then having to listen to the lectures on a Saturday and a Sunday. I mean, my life was just work and EPAT. I mean, so that was one of the challenges I faced, having to cut out every other thing just so I could, focus on this course. Um, I found some of the sessions quite good. So like the Excel, I never expected that. I never expected one could do such magic with Excel. Being able to trade or have your whole strategy run from Excel. So that was quite an eye opener for me. I've never used Excel that much in my life. So that was really interesting. And then when we moved on to Python, that was more or less my bread and butter. I mean, being a software developer, I was at home with Python. And I think that made it look more realistic for me as something that I could carry on beyond, the course. The machine learning aspect, I didn't find that extremely helpful because I think it was a bit too much theoretical for me. Even though I do have machine learning background, I mean, I did that AI, my master's 20-something years ago in Cambridge. So options, I like the course on options. The lecturer made it pretty straightforward. I mean, I never thought I would understand options the way he made it clear. But it's something I've not used since I left, so I need to go back to some of those studies or some of the lecture notes. One aspect I enjoyed was the aspect of building our algo trading system. I mean, it wasn't too deep. I mean, it's something I've been doing already, so it was a good refresher. It was a good way to look at the whole holistic system, from the market data handling to, the main strategy part and then the exchange connectivity piece. So it was good to see how everything links together. Because in the past, I've always focused more on the strategy side, not so much the market data handling and exchange connectivity piece. So that was quite insightful. And I think the course that I found really, really great for me was the pairs and startup, because that's basically the area I'm in my current company, basically doing index and arbitrage and things like that. So pairs trading was really useful. I think I probably listened to the lecture notes or watched it about twice or three times. I mean, just to get as much as I could from it. So overall, I think the only challenge I had was just timing. The fact that I started a new job and it was really stressful. Keeping up with the demands of the job as well as attending the courses. Other than that, I think most of it were pretty much straightforward for me. And then the exam, which I didn't prepare for, but I just went. I just did that, and thankfully I passed. That's about it. Yeah.
Thanks, Gabriel, for highlighting it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Melvin. I think a few points that I gathered from all of you. Yes, I mean from Gabriel and so that it is a commitment, like you correctly mentioned, and people who are attending, I would like to tell you all, the program is comprehensive. Time management is one of the key factors, and I think one of the things that I have learned with 8 years odd with QuantInsti is having a structure and a little bit of discipline should do the trick. If there is something that if you're lagging behind in some stuff, it is going to pile on and there is going to be a problem from there on. I think Tommy mentioned about it being giving a glimpse of everything, and then you can choose what you want to specialize. We'll keep this one short because you all have mentioned about a few aspects already. But if you have to name one best aspect of the program, anything that comes to your mind on the top of the head?
I mean, as I mentioned, I think the pairs arbitrage index trading course was really, really good. But I think the other thing I would mention, which is not with the program or what post the program or after the program, is that lifelong access to the materials. I think that's, to me, is a huge plus. In fact, when I was paying for it, I said, I'm paying for life. I'm not just paying for 6 months. So I don't mind. I don't mind paying that. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I've not really accessed it as much as I should have, but I know it's always there if I need to. So that's really something I think is a huge plus for me. I mean, that was one of the things that helped me decide to take the course on, because I said even if I don't use the knowledge straight away, I know I would have access in the future to use it. So really solid positive for me there.
How have you or are planning to utilize the learnings of the EPAT program?
Yeah, so I would say the again, pairs trading or index arbitrage, statistical arbitrage helped because that I use at work. Um, but the other thing that I think that EPAT has helped me with is to have that confidence that I could actually launch out on my own, to set up an algo trading system. So I'm looking in at the next few years. I don't want to say this year because I think I still have a few more years in my company, but maybe in the next few couple of years, I should be able to, start something by the side, in terms of doing algo trading, by the side. Um, and of course, I want to take more advantage of the course materials. Thanks for this, this webinar, inviting me or having me on this webinar. It made me remember, oh wow, I do have alumni access. So I'm going to take advantage of that this year. That's one of my plans. So to look into that again and probably refresh myself on some of those course materials. Yeah.
So of course, we did have a lot to learn from all the comments that you all have made. But if there is one aspect that or one message that you would want to leave the audience with, what would that be?
So I think EPAD is an exciting, rewarding program. I mean, from my experience, that's what I would say. However, it does require loads of hard work. You know, I think it's not something that one could just say they could take without, studying or, doing some of the homework at least. I mean, if possible, don't skip the homework. Initially, I was doing quite well. I think I was in the top 5 or top 10. I mean, because there's a ranking system as well, right? Then eventually I dropped down because I just could not keep up due to work and all that stuff. So if it's possible, it's good to do the homework because it keeps the knowledge fresh. And I think that kind of helped me even with the exam because I didn't really study for the exam. It was just the homework and listening in the class that really helped me with being able to pass the exams. And of course, for those who are very good in maths, I think an area that one should consider is quant trading. I mean, EPAT gives you the quant knowledge as well to some extent, but if one can find a job or find working like a hedge fund or the sell side, I mean, like in banks like I am in, but doing quant trading in there, that would be even a better advantage for a better way to use the knowledge that you get from EPAT. And for those of you that are like into software, like myself, then joining an algo trading development team will be an ideal career path to follow.
Before that, I would just want to plug, of course, the EPAT program. So for all the people who are still there, we have the upcoming batches of EPAT coming through. Of course, while you've taken all the inputs from your seniors, if I may call them, in terms of learning, you should understand what is your objective. It's going to come with a certain commitment in terms of time and energy. You will need to have certain objective and motivation in mind for you to achieve. Of course, it need not be completed in the 6 month period, but as Sugat and Gabriel and others also mentioned about lifelong support and access, you can surely complete your objectives in an ongoing manner. Keeping all these three, 4 aspects and the parting words, we have got one batch which is coming in January, and one more in April. As of course, all the Singaporeans have mentioned about the IBF subsidy, it is still there, not as much as in the pandemic, but decently enough, up to 50% or 3,000 Singapore dollars for people, any person who completes the program with the certificate of excellence. We have merit-based scholarship discounts for both the January batch and for the April batch. So people who come from brilliant backgrounds from like all 4 of these years, you can surely attend this for certain subsidies there. The April batch, the batch after the next one, the upcoming one, you have the super early bird, right? And so this is of course comes with a certain price subsidy of almost 15-20%. So if time is not of essence, you can surely look at the April batch. And for the attendees that we have here, we are doing a short format aptitude benefit. So Afrin, if you Afrin is on the background, or Akhilesh, if you are there, you can just put in a link for Calendly, and anyone who wants to have this particular benefit can possibly reach out to us. Wanted to know what kind of roles can we expect after this program. So I think Gabriel did hint about it a little bit. If you're more towards analytics, stats, etc., you will be looking at roles more towards quant research, quant analytics, quant strategist kind of alignment. If you're more towards software development or coding or programming, you're looking at quant development kind of roles, which is much niche but decently gratifying. Then you've got front-end algorithmic traders, so you'll need to have certain execution backgrounds in the past and trading backgrounds in the past. So these are very broadly segmented. Then you have got risk profiles, etc., which will also come into play. And risk is also covered as a module in the program. Thank you again. Thanks, Sugat. Thanks, Gabriel. Thanks, Tommy. Thanks, Melvin. You all have a good night. It's late for you all. So thank you again, and we'll be in touch.